it occurred to me like, oh, I wouldn't even think to do that because I see, for me, enough people, which means between 1 and 3 people.
And some days one is enough.
To be fair, between 0 and 3 people is maybe the optimal range for me.
This goes out to the challengers. Comics and conversation, y'all. What? Keep the conversation moving along. Keep reading comics, keep your local store strong. If it's hard, then it's a job for the challengers. What? Comics and conversation, y'all.
From Challengers Comics and Conversation in Chicago, this is Contest of Challengers, a comics industry business podcast with Patrick Brower and W. Dal Bush.
It's at that point now, Dal, where everything is starting to blur together.
Okay, like what?
Like we've been closed since March 22nd.
Okay.
But we're alive via currently Shopify.
Sure.
In orders.
Yeah.
And without the structure of picking up books on Tuesdays, pulling club, new release Wednesdays, all of our days at work now are kind of the same.
Yeah.
We have the same tasks every time we're in. And we're in the store, maybe stores, when you add 2 of them together.
Or don't.
Every day of the week. Even like Sundays, we're not open. We run to the store to get something. There's something to be there.
Yeah, generally.
Yeah. Which, I mean, a month and a half ago, the stores are open. Of course you're at the store every day of the week.
Sure.
But it's just such a weird thing to be talking to people who are, of course, in the same situation.
Oh, yeah.
But saying things like I ran into a neighbor. And I say ran into, but, 6 feet apart.
Okay.
Whilst taking out the recycling. And I was headed right to the store. And she said, you still go to work? I'm like, yeah, like almost every day. And that has made this entire situation different for us than for a lot of people who are, let's say, stuck in a studio apartment, telecommuting.
Yeah, I think
where their world is a lot more condensed.
I think every small business owner is probably in the same boat we are, even if they're not in retail, because you can furlough employees and you can ask people to work from home, but when you run a business, like, you have to find some way to keep it going. I don't know anyone who runs a small business that's just like, all right, I'll just stay at home for 2 months. Like, that is not possible.
But at the same time, while we're not open 8 hours not open at all, while we are not in the store 8 hours a day most days, it still feels like we're running out of time and there's more things to do.
Sure.
And I am so backlogged on emails for people because if it's not an immediate order email, it gets pushed aside.
Sure.
And then I take forever getting back to it. Some of them are just like, hey, how's it going? Check-in emails.
Oh, sure.
And it's hard to get to those because I have no desire to do it. Like, I'm guilty of doing that to others. Like, hey, I'm checking in. How are you doing? That kind of thing.
Sure.
But I don't want it.
Sure.
Myself.
I hear you.
And it's harder for me to, I don't know. Like, I think we talked last week how this isn't affecting us mentally like it is a lot of other people.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I don't find myself immobilized by fears of the coronavirus. But at the same time, it is something that affects a lot of people emotionally and mentally, and I do want to acknowledge that. And so people who are likewise concerned about me, friends and family, that's very considerate. I do not have that same muscle in my body where I'm able to be like, I gotta check in with everybody. Like, I just kind of assume everyone's fine unless they tell me they're not.
Yeah, but sometimes people don't tell you they're not because they want you to ask.
Yeah, that's not. They should know better than that.
That's true.
That's not me. Like,
but also,
I will always, if someone wants to tell me something like that, I will try and be present for that. I will acknowledge it and try and help them. But I'm not the person, like, it's kind of a pet peeve of mine. Like, I used to work with someone who would always, like, they'd laugh in a real obvious way, or they'd make these noises like, oh, when they're reading something.
As a way to get you to say, oh, what is that?
Exactly. But once you know that, I resented it. Like, just say what you want to say. Just say, oh, I read this thing. Do you want to hear about it? Or just tell me the thing.
Back in another life, when you and I used to work together, and you'd be online and you'd laugh, I'd wait because my first instinct is, well, I want to know what's funny too. But if it's something that you don't want to, like if it was something you thought was worth sharing, you would share.
Right.
But if it was a particularly funny Kamen Rider thing,
Yeah.
you'd keep that to yourself.
Yeah, if there's something funny that you don't have the context for, I'm not going to bore you with it.
Right.
I mean, I will if I really want to, but I'm not going to do it for your benefit. I'd only do it for my benefit.
Yeah, you're never laughing to get me to acknowledge that you're laughing.
Yeah. So it's for me, it's the same thing with like the other end of the spectrum where it's more about, you know, personal connection and consoling people and trying to be there as a support system for people emotionally. Like I'm very bad, and this is not me like opting to do things differently. This is me saying I have a fundamental failing, and I acknowledge that, in that I don't necessarily think to reach out to people, assuming that if they needed something from me, they would let me know and I could then help them. Like I'm very bad at volunteering that, or not even volunteering, but like assessing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I never talk to someone and then think, oh, they're probably hiding something from me. Like they probably want me to ask about X, Y, or Z. Like I just assume, like, man, if they wanted to talk about it, they'd bring it up, because that's what I would do, because that's how I do things. Like it
I don't know. I can see it going both ways.
Sure.
I do know, and I've done it myself, where you want someone to ask, like, you'll put the information out there, like, put the clues together and bring it back. Mm-hmm. And most time it doesn't, but that's fine.
Sure.
But what I wanted to say before was that I almost feel bad for not feeling bad about this, but we are in a different situation because of our store. Mm-hmm. We see each other regularly, and so we're not as sheltered as a lot of other people.
Yeah, I was watching the Parks and Rec special, which is very funny.
I didn't, and I forgot to record it, and I couldn't get it right away. I had to wait a day for streaming, so I guess that's today.
Yeah. And I donated to Feeding America because they were kind enough to put the special together for me, and all they asked is that I donated to Feeding America, so I did. But the structure of it is basically it's a video phone tree of the characters keeping in contact with one another in the midst of the coronavirus outbreak. It takes place in the modern day. And I thought,
I watch TV to escape.
That's okay, you can definitely escape into this. But it occurred to me like, oh, I wouldn't even think to do that because I see, for me, enough people, which means between 1 and 3 people.
And some days one is enough.
To be fair, between 0 and 3 people is maybe the optimal range for me. But that makes my mental state pretty similar to what I need to get through the day. But for people who are more outgoing or who are used to that sort of having somebody to exist in a room with them and not being able to have that because, like you said, you know, they might live alone or they're working from home or whatever. I mean, I understand that they're going to need that outlet more than I would. But yeah, it is a strange thing of feeling not too put out by the coronavirus outbreak, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, like, things aren't great for us financially, but they're not horrible.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a thing of, like, something to be applauded, you know, a certain resilience or an ability to kind of not blow things out of proportion, or if it's just, you know, dim-witted ignorance of not being able to appreciate the scope of the situation. Like, one or the other.
I think that part of it, maybe a solid half of it, is the experiences that we've had as business owners. For example,
poverty. Go on.
Things, well, I'm not, you're not wrong. Things that would have been a huge deal to us 10, 11 years ago.
Sure.
Like, we've experienced so much more.
Economic
that we're like,
hardship, yes.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Kind of, yeah.
Like literally, some of the most... I don't know how to say this while only alluding to things that aren't necessarily real.
Sure.
Like, some of the most disastrous things that could happen to a business, the thought of it's like, okay.
Yeah, I think even my personal finances and stuff have been so tied to the store
for so long,
for 12 years, that the kind of things that people are dealing with, where it's like, I don't know when the next paycheck's going to come, and it's like, I mean, that's kind of how I live my life. Like, I don't want to diminish what people are going through. Certainly, I have less to care for in my life than, say, someone with a spouse or a family or people they have to support. But in general, like, I can't stress about that because I would have been stressing about it every single day for the last 12 years. There's a point where you're just like, it becomes this low-level background noise of like, I don't know, hopefully there will be money.
Yeah, what you mean is you can't stress about it anymore. There was a point where you did stress about it.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, you burn yourself out.
Yeah, my point is we've stressed about all these things enough that it really has to be, and I'm not asking for this.
No.
I'm just saying it has to be something significant for us to be like, uh-oh. But, go back to the month of October, and we had something weighing over us that we had never had before, and that messed with us both.
Sure.
That was related to Opening Blue.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's still things from there that have never been resolved that we just said, we're going to stop throwing money away on lawyers because we're not getting to the bottom of this.
Nope.
We just said, let's let it go.
Sometimes banks don't want to answer questions, and at that point you're just like, well, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But yeah, I mean, it was, if you look at just those mere months ago, those however many months ago that was, 6, 7...
Anything before March 1st, 2020 is another ice age ago.
It really is. Gosh, it really is.
It really is.
So I feel bad that we don't feel bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I finally heard from the last challenger to check in during this time.
Yeah.
Like I've talked to everybody, not a lot.
Sure.
But a little bit. Just touch base, hope to see what people are doing.
Yeah.
You want to give them their space, but also let them know that we're, thinking about them. I'm thinking about them.
I've talked to several of them.
Sure. As I said, there was still one holdout, and it took another reaching out on my part, and there's a level where you think like, all right, I'll leave them alone.
Right.
But everybody is accounted for.
That's great.
And speaking of challengers, as we're recording this, it is Ashley's birthday.
Happy birthday, Ashley Challenger.
And people will hear this days after her
Eisner
birthday.
Award winner, Ashley Challenger.
As Eisner Award recipient?
Nope, winner. She won it.
That's fair.
Yep. I got a photo that says she won it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got a photo.
I'm not up on that stage.
With her and the Eisner and Neil Gaiman together. So
that's great.
I mean, whose Eisner is it really? It's more theirs than ours, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
So that was just a weird little, so there's people that have emailed, like Tyrell Cannon. I haven't got back to him. I need to. He sent a very nice email. Dan Doherty, I owe an email to. Samantha Challenger, I'm behind one on. But I've talked to her since then. Just I haven't responded to that email. But then there's smaller business type of emails that I look at, and it's like, hey, I get to this later, and then later never comes because it gets buried.
Right. It's not like emails stop.
You'll look at your inbox and say like, oh, I have 2,700 emails. Wait, I can only see like 12. Where are the other ones? And you got to go back and dig and dig.
Yeah.
I wish there was like a way you can just see that. Well, whatever.
There is,
but not the way I have it set up.
Oh, okay.
It's a different. Gmail is much easier, but anyway.
Okie dokie.
I gotta get into that. I don't like it when it puts those at the top.
Okay.
I know I just said I want that, but I don't want that.
Okay.
I want it to work easier for me. So, with this being a new month and a new stay-at-home rules with the city of Chicago. Number one, if you're outside over 2 years old and not exercising, wear a mask. And people aren't doing that.
No.
Today is May 1st. I saw a bunch of people not wearing masks.
And as it gets warmer, it's only going to get less observed by people.
I had to go to the Home Depot today, and a lot of people inside not wearing masks. Don't like it. But speaking of masks, we had ordered Challengers face masks.
Yeah. Our t-shirt supplier makes them now.
Yeah. And they came in today, finally.
Yeah.
I say finally because they tried to deliver them the last 2 days, not finally like, oh, they're late.
No.
But like we missed the deliveries.
Yeah, one of the problems that we're having right now is just that because we're not at the normal store operating hours, 11 to 7 during the week, it's much more difficult to coordinate things like UPS and FedEx and Postal Service orders. we kind of have to look at tracking and then hope that we're there the hours that they're there. Like, even if we show up at 11, what if they showed up at 10:15 or whatever? Like, which wouldn't help us even if we were at their normal hours. But if they decide to come back, like, who knows how long you have to stay for? Like, maybe they just don't come back. So, yeah, it's been not fun trying to be there for some of this stuff.
And everything is taking longer to deliver. Like, I needed to custom order a couple of things from Home Depot, and they were due in Wednesday. Only I never got confirmation of them being there. And so I called yesterday, and they said, hey, you ordered 3 things. 2 of them are here. We don't know where the third one is. Yeah. Like, well, can I come get the 2? So I did that, but I still have 1 outstanding.
Yeah, we did a reorder with Diamond this past Monday.
Oh, man.
We got notification Wednesday morning of what the tracking numbers were, which means it's been boxed up at Diamond's Olive Branch warehouse. It's now Friday, and it still has not moved from that warehouse. So hopefully it'll show up next Monday, but realistically probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know. So that's a bummer. That's 4 boxes of stuff that we were really hoping to have available for people to purchase. And now it's like at some point in the future. I don't know when.
Yeah, I wonder if, and we're getting off topic from where I was going, but I wonder if when books start coming out again in later May, if they're going to go back to full capacity of their offices and warehouses.
I mean, hopefully Olive Branch moved to just 3 days a week from, I guess, 5 probably.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like their operating hours, their operating days are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I placed the order on Monday and it was ready to go Wednesday. It just didn't go. And now I guess since there's no one at the warehouse Thursday and Friday, that's why it's still sitting there.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
Yeah, not fun. I wonder where they're going to be at in late May and how that's going to change things.
But going back to the masks, we talked about the masks on the podcast before, and we talked about selling them for $12 and donating all the proceeds to a COVID-based charity or something to help people out, hopefully in the artistic community, but wherever. Mm-hmm. Only now we've got them. They're underwhelming.
Yeah, the material is not necessarily $12 worth of material in our estimation.
I honestly, just selling these above cost almost seems too much.
Yeah, I quoted Patrick a number where I said, if we were selling it for this much, I feel like it'd be a good value, and that value was like dollars below than our cost.
Yeah.
Which means that just for us to use in the store, like for us and for employees, it's like, oh, we overpaid for this.
Oh, tremendously. And I appreciate that they were doing it, but
boy, oh boy.
Yeah, and I had our sales rep said, I can't wait for you to get them. I really want to know what you think. And once we got them, I thought, oh, you don't.
I think you should tell them. I mean, I think you should. Just be honest. Be like, look, we use your company because we've always gotten what we thought was a fair price for the shirts that we get, which is why we use you. This, I don't know what the manufacturing process is, but having it in hand does not feel like a good value. It just doesn't.
We could buy a box of disposable surgical masks for like 50 masks for like $40.
Yeah. This, I mean, the problem is it's basically t-shirt material.
But what I was going to say was, I don't trust the longevity of our masks more than I would these disposable masks.
Yeah,
it's the kind of thing where you buy. It's not like you're going to buy one and use that all the time. Like, oh no, that's going to fall apart real quick.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with these is that it's basically t-shirt material, but because of that, like, you look at the size of it, and it's just it covers the nose and the mouth and a little bit of the chin. It's got 2 slits on each side, so you can have it for different width ears. Like if your head is larger or smaller, you can adjust it that way. But that's it. It's a 6-inch long piece of fabric.
There's no rigidity or structure. Yeah. There's no wire. There's no
material.
It's not even a hem.
And when I looked at it, I realized, if it's just t-shirt material, like if we pay, $4 for a t-shirt, they can cut 6 or so masks out of that. And I know that they have to then cut it, and they have to cut the ear holes, and they've got to print on it. But it's like, I don't understand the cost of this at all.
No, we
understand how it
pay
could
more
cost
per mask
that much.
than we do per sale T-shirt when we get the shirts each year.
By a lot.
By little.
By a lot.
But enough to make you say, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because of how little material is used.
Yeah. I don't get it. But anyway, we're selling it if you want a mask.
But I mean, we haven't decided on a price yet. And did you
just say $12?
No, that's what we were like. I can't.
If people want to pay $12 for a mask, knowing that the proceeds go to charity, I mean, I don't want to just say no to them. I don't.
Okay.
It's
okay.
I don't want to say no. You can't donate to charity. No, you can't have a Challengers mask because we feel like they're overpriced.
Do you want to add them to Shopify?
I can, sure.
Okay.
I mean, if you want, I will put a notification inside the listing for the mask that we think they're overpriced. If that makes you feel better. Because I do think they're overpriced, but it's like, I mean, we're not charging a price that is unfair based on what we had to pay for them. And we can make it clear to people, I don't think it's a good value. But again, who am I to say?
And honestly, when you put them on, they look fine.
Yeah, they work.
One small complaint is that as adult men, I've always had a larger head. I always have to have the highest size hat you can buy.
It's just full of ideas.
So this is not a great fit for me. My own mask is not a great fit.
No, me neither. I have to use the widest setting for it, and even then it kind of pulls my ears forward a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not the most comfortable thing I'll ever wear.
But I mean, we'll still wear them in the stores as they are our business representation.
True, and I mean, I think the printing came out okay. I know there was we were skeptical as to how the design would play on the mask.
Looking at it now, I think that it's not as big of a deal to have worried about how stretched out the middle one would have gotten.
Yeah, I mean, it's like on the one hand, I want to say like, oh, we'll do more at some point, but I don't know from who. No, I mean, not with this company.
No,
not for this price.
We have something in the works with someone else.
Yeah.
So we'll see when the... long story short, there's another company that I looked into that is letting people design custom masks. I'm like, how do we get part of this? So like, hey, it shouldn't have happened yet. It's like, these people were able to do it, but it's not ready for everybody yet. But as soon as it is, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I've seen those people like, hey, here's 5 more mask designs today.
Sure. I think a lot of companies are going to be doing this. It just, obviously, to introduce a product like this, it takes a little bit. And a little bit could just mean a few weeks, but a few weeks right now feels like a year. So I think by the time you hit, like, late May, early June, there will probably be a lot more better-priced options for masks that will have kind of our pick of companies to choose from.
Speaking of masks, we are going to require masks in the store. I mean, we were going to anyway.
Yeah.
But now it's city's making it. Do we want to have a box of disposable masks for people that don't have masks? So somebody comes in and they're not wearing a mask. What do you do?
Well, okay. So that's 2 questions. But the second one first, I would point to a sign that we'll hopefully have up saying that if people are going to come in the store, they need a mask. So your first question, if we can source them, sure.
And I mean, I just gave you the price before. Like we could get like a box of 50 for like $40.
Yeah, sure. I think we'd probably just sell them for $1 then.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to hand them out. That's not my job.
I'm fine with that. Somebody doesn't have a mask. Like somebody comes in, like, hey, I'm sorry, you have to have a mask.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have one. Okay, we can sell one for $1.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Totally fair. Yeah, I have a source. I believe I have a source for masks.
Okay.
And it's literally the exact same ones that we've been wearing.
Sure. That's great.
Okay. Also, the gloves we ordered are... Sorry, they're late. We don't know what's going on.
Great. Well...
Also, the things I was looking for today, which is also mask-related, that I'm like, oh, I guess we just missed it by not being there. No, now it's not coming till next Friday.
Amazing.
Yeah. Deliveries just keep getting pushed back.
Super cool.
Keep getting pushed back. We are taking this time, well, we thought we'd be taking this time to make some changes once we realized that the stay-at-home, well, that's fair, that's what we call it.
The lockdown.
The lockdown is extended till May. There's some things we really wanted to do. There's a lot of things we want to do to change in the store, but it takes more money than we have, like all new lighting, new carpeting.
Yep.
But there's some things that we were waiting for, like, okay, we could do this. It's not a lot. It's not that expensive. We have a little bit of money thanks to people buying stuff through our Shopify store. And we just needed to wait to make sure we'd have the time. Well, now all of our suppliers are closed down for going to. You have to order everything.
Yeah.
And so we talked about a thing a few weeks ago that we waited. And then we're like, all right, this is what it's going to cost. Do you want to order them? And you and I talked about it just this afternoon. I went to place the order. Out of stock.
Oof. All right.
But it doesn't say, like, basically the warehouses around the country, like, oh, this warehouse has this many. This warehouse has this many. Great. I want 8 of these. When you go to pick shipping, it's like you're either too far away or something you have too many things in your order, like we're out of stock on something. Well, I'm only ordering one thing, just 8 of it.
Yeah.
And it was okay yesterday when I didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, I don't know that I understand enough about how that company is doing a lot of its stocking and shipping and stuff normally to understand what this lockdown could have to alter it. I don't know. I mean, if they say they're out, okay.
Well, it just kills me because there's warehouses in either direction of us that we could get to very easily, but they're closed because of the lockdown.
Yeah.
And I can't fault them. It's like, well, I want to do my thing now. And even so, like, it's May 1st. I mean, and if we ordered today, it'd be like, what if we ordered yesterday? The delivery day was May 28th.
I mean, we've been doing a version of that where people have requested, like, supplies and stuff for home delivery or for shipping, and it's like, I'm not shipping those. I'm not shipping bags and boards.
Yeah.
And people, can I just come pick them up? Like, no, and also I don't feel comfortable leaving them at the Chicago Board Game Café.
No.
Like, there's a limit to how much I want to impose on that company who is generously helping us out. And I'm not leaving long boxes and stuff there for you to pick up. Like, that just... It's a product line that right now I'm just like, no, we're not selling those. We just don't have a good way to do it, so no, we're not doing it.
When someone says, hey, I didn't see the supplies on your website, or your Shopify store, that is correct.
You didn't. There's other stuff that I think over the next week or so I'll probably start adding, just to see if people want to get them. Some of the toys, some of the pops.
Yeah, it's just the shipping options need to be recalculated and figured out.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if they're going... Like, they might not be recalculated. Like, that might just be a thing of, like, re-roll the dice on that one. Because it's very difficult on any shipping system whatsoever, unless you're using weight and measurements.
Yeah.
It is incredibly difficult to make it that granular and go, oh, well, this statue has to have this shipping cost. Like, I don't know if I can make it do that. It's just going to be like, I don't know.
Well, I just meant...
That guy's going to get undercharged on shipping.
Our current shipping policy, pops would only fit in... the medium square box, which is $15.
I think for this stuff, I would probably just say, like, it's got to be local pickup.
Okay.
But I don't know if I can do that.
Okay.
I genuinely don't know if that's an option. This is all stuff I'm going to have to try and figure out, and sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. So this is not a promise whatsoever that all this stuff is actionable, but it's something I want to try and do. I want to try and get as much of the stuff that we have in the store that people might want to buy up on Shopify, because I don't know how long we're going to have to use Shopify as our main interface for our customers.
Obviously, I defer to you because you're the one who's putting all the effort in there, but if it comes to it, I would just say, no, we're not going to list all our Marvel Legends because we don't know how to ship them or whatever.
Yeah, but it's... I don't know. It's the two components are, A, can I get it to do that? And B, do I have the time to do it? And B is a little bit easier to answer, since I'm going to be at the store for, 3 or whatever days a week. So yeah, if I can figure out how to do it, I have days I can work on it. I'm already through Marvel and DC as far as verifying all the quantities for the Shopify inventory.
Nice. Yeah, unfortunately, we've been finding more and more errors.
Oh, golly. Are we ever?
It's just,
Let's talk about manga graphic novels.
Not errors so much as... Oh, these things all must have been stolen.
Yeah, it's both. There's definitely things where they might have gone to River North, or they might have been something that got returned or was damaged and just wasn't taken out of the system, or got sold in some weird way. But there's definitely stuff where it's like, oh, that's why we didn't restock One Punch Man Volume 1 for the last 6 months, because someone definitely stole it. And that's... I don't want to harp on manga readers. They're a big part of the industry, and they're a big part of kind of what comics is about in 2020. But Jesus Christ, between the kind of scanlation sites where folks will just flat out pirate everything they read in manga and do it months before graphic novels come out, and then refuse to support print editions of their books, and then when the print editions do come out, they're just like, well, I just want to steal them. I don't know that we have a graphic novel category that has had more discrepancies that are clearly down to theft than manga. Just manga readers have weird relationships to the things they like and how much they're willing to pay for those things. It's definitely a category that out of spite, I almost feel like dropping.
Wow.
Like, I'm not going
Was
to.
the inventory that discrepant? Is that a word? Can I say discrepant?
You can say it. I don't know if it's a word. It's not just the Shopify thing, but it's stuff we find all the time. I mean, we're frequently going to the manga section and people are like, oh, you don't have this volume. And it's like, oh, computer sure says we do. And then you look at the rest of the volumes in the series and what's in the inventory and you go, oh boy, there's 4 of them that are missing. And again, there's literally nothing else in the store. Marvel Legends, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
There's no other graphic novels in the store that have the same level of just, boy, you put this out here and you can't monitor it 24/7 and you are assuming 20%? Maybe that's just lost to theft? I'm coming up top of my head. I haven't done a full inventory. But, I mean, double-digit percentages of, like, those are just going to get walked away with. In a way that we're not finding it for any other category that we're selling online. Boy, oh boy, the manga. So yeah, that's a disappointing thing about a very large segment of comics retail, you know? Not direct market retail necessarily, but people who buy comic books. There's a lot of manga fans, and I guess there's more than anyone thought, because basically take the sales number and then add on another 20%, and that's how many actual manga readers you probably have in print, because they're just stealing it.
I noticed you said readers and not purchasers.
Nope. We got a number for purchasers. I mean, that's a number that the industry has a pretty firm grasp on based on reporting through different channels. But what I'm suggesting is take that number and times it by 1.2, and that's how many actual graphic novels you're probably selling.
Whoops.
Through not actually selling them all to people who pay money. Yeah, manga readers.
So we apologize to anyone who's ordering from Shopify and has to get a refund because... oh, Superman, whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow just isn't there.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's been graphic novels in a bunch of different categories where it's, for whatever reason, just not in the store anymore. And hopefully as we find those, we get tighter with our inventory. It will happen less and less. But it's definitely been a process of, throwing the inventory up and then having to day by day prune it to what's actually there. So Marvel single-issue comics should be 100% accurate. DC single-issue comics should be 100% accurate. Next Monday, I'm probably going to try and do Image and other publishers. Should be able to hopefully get all that done on Monday. And then, I mean, over time, I'll probably just pick different genres for graphic novels and just...
work on it.
Eyeball it. Manga first. Definitely manga first. And then I'll pick other ones, and we'll see what's there. And yeah. All of this, honestly, depends on what the day-to-day business of running the store is like. Like, how often am I there? How busy am I? What's going on? What sold? What needs doing? It's really only about 3 weeks before we start getting new books in. And at that point, hopefully I'll have less time for those sort of special projects, and I'll be spending more time on actually, dealing with new product and more customers.
I can't say I relish the idea of having to duplicate every purchase.
Yeah, we'll see.
But we'll be fortunate if we still keep getting
sure. Yeah,
sales in either direction.
I mean, the duplicate thing is really the question. Is like right now we're 100% Shopify because people cannot come to the store and we can't really do things like curbside pickup. But in late May, we're going to have new product coming in, and that's going to be product that won't necessarily be in people's Shopify accounts.
Right.
Things that are held will be automatically deducted from Shopify. Those won't even be quantities that will go live on Shopify. So we shouldn't have to worry about that. So
if we get 100 copies of Batman, but we have 70 subscribers, you're only going to put 30 up on Shopify.
Exactly, because 70 are already spoken
so
for. So
you're doing that math yourself to do it.
Yeah. It's sort of easy to do.
This is pie in the sky, but wouldn't it be amazing if somehow these two systems could merge?
They kind of can, just not in ways that are, I don't know. I did not have a good time trying to make that happen before Diamond's tool.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something with, we're going to upgrade to RMH at some point in the next few months, and that may be a thing where it becomes easier to do that.
Okay.
Certainly we can investigate it. I think it's going to be easier with RMH because it's an actively developed program as opposed to RMS, which is a sunsetted program that is not getting updates past next year or something. It's an older kind of version of RMH.
Also, if you looked at all of Diamond's, hey, here's what we've been doing to help retailers list of things, Pullbox is listed as an active thing.
It is an active thing, just not for us.
Just not for us.
No. And I mean, that'll be a thing where, again, like once...
Not Challengers specifically, RMS users.
Yeah, Comic Suite users. Although, technically, like, they are beta testing it. There are Comic Suite users that are using Pullbox. So... if there was anyone in Diamond's offices to ask, I'd ask them, but stuff like that just has to get backburnered until they are fully operational again at Diamond. So yeah, getting back to the Shopify thing, depending on when people can actually start coming into the store.
Yeah.
Which is, do we have that as a date yet?
June 1st?
Currently June 1st?
Right.
Let's assume June 1st. I don't know how many people are still going to be doing most of their purchasing either through Shopify via, priority mail or deliver if we're able to offer it, or are just going to do Shopify and then come pick it up in the store. They don't want to spend time shopping. They just want their order to be ready.
No, I get it.
And if that's the case, then we're going to have a lot less things that we will then have to take out of Shopify's inventory if people buy it in the store, because they're going to be doing their purchases in advance anyway. I no idea. I mean, Shopify, again, right now it's 100%. I don't know what it's going to be in June. 80%? 40%?
Sure. We'll find out.
And the lower that percentage of our sales is for Shopify, the more we're going to think about doing less offerings on Shopify because it won't feel as necessary.
Yeah. And if it's not worth the monthly fee at that point.
Oh, it'll be worth them. Just the monthly fee is so low that it's, I don't care. That's fine. But it's really, it's the single issue comics that are the big question, because that's the stuff that will need the most tweaking if people, buy a stack of new comics and it's like, well, now this is 8 things I have to take out of Shopify for what was, $16 worth of profit. Like, this is not a good use of my time. But again, if the majority of the sales are Shopify, then how much am I really taking out each day versus how much sales am I doing because they're listed on there?
Sure.
So we'll figure that out, further into June.
There'll be a natural balance that has to be worked out.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just, I hate doing this, and then we do something different. Because sometimes that's literally all it takes, is just going, I don't want to do this anymore, because we run a business and we get to decide that.
I love that over this time we've used a couple of bike messengers for deliveries. When 6 years or so ago we tried to do a regular Challengers to You bike messenger delivery service.
Sure.
With the same fee that we're charging now, and we had no takers, but there was no pandemic.
Oh, yeah. The pandemic changes everything.
Yeah.
It's like saying, why aren't people going to movie theaters anymore? They used to go to movie theaters all the time. Like, well, there's a pandemic.
Did you get that email I sent you about Music Box?
Yeah, I did, yeah. I don't...
Music Box...
Why did you send it?
Well, because...
Think it's neat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music Box is offering takeout concessions.
Yeah, concessions to go. If you...
look, some reason, you like microwave popcorn. Wouldn't you rather have movie theater popcorn?
I think it's... I think it's a neat idea of a place that clearly does not have any business right now, looking at what they have and going, how can we sell some of this to make money? Potbellies a few weeks ago started doing, you can just buy a stack of meat from them. Like, people, if you want Potbelly sandwiches or whatever, and you can't just get out there all the time, or you need meat and cheese and bread at home, they have it to spare now.
Okay.
So they'll just sell it to you in bulk.
It's the Potbelly's Deli. I'm cool with that.
Kind of, yeah. And I guess Subway's either started doing it or going to start doing it as well. And I don't know why in the world you would want to make a Subway sandwich at home. I like Subway sandwiches. I had one for dinner tonight, but Jesus Christ, would I not want to make it myself? Any store-bought lunch meat, any Oscar Mayer brand garbage deli meat is going to be better than what you get at Subway. That's not why you go to Subway.
I think people would argue with you on that one, but we'll let it go.
Okay. I'm fine being disagreed with.
I mean, you said garbage meat is better than Subway.
Kind of, yes. But anyway, is
it just the act of making the sandwich that you don't want?
Yes.
Because I've seen you make a sandwich.
Yes. That's the thing. Like, if I'm going to make a sandwich, I wouldn't get the meat or cheese and whatever from Subway. Like, I like a Subway sandwich, but most of what I like about a Subway sandwich is that it was made for me.
Yeah.
The idea of just getting Subway bread is like, why would I do it this way? Like, if I'm making a sandwich, I can make it with anything. Why would I make it with Subway bread and Subway meat and Subway cheese? Like, if someone's going to make it for me, that's what I'm paying for. I would not buy... Like, it's like people who buy, like, Taco Bell branded, like, meat and cheese and stuff to make tacos at home. Like, you can do better at that point. You can buy better.
On the one hand, I feel like offering to make you sandwiches whenever you want one if you'd pay me. But on the other hand, your money is my money, so it's not... There's no benefit to that.
Not to you, no.
No.
No, to me, certainly. People making me sandwiches now.
Also, it's like... Making you a sandwich takes less than a minute.
Oh, God, yeah. There's so few ingredients. But anyway, getting back to the music box thing. So I like the idea of them doing it as a very inventive way of trying to get some revenue for themselves and for their employees and to kind of keep themselves in people's minds when they can't go to a theater. But on the other hand, it's just... I mean, for me, it's zero good. I'm not going to Southport or whatever.
Okay.
To get... I don't remember the music box having such great concessions that I need that. But, I mean, if you live in that neighborhood or if you're someone who goes to the music box all the time, you might feel differently. It might have a more emotional connection for you. You know, the music box popcorn and the music box...
Yeah, especially if you're
whatever.
staying in, like, if you live with a significant other and you want to have a movie night.
Yeah.
It really enhances the entire experience.
But I like, and this is a your mileage may vary sort of thing. I think in instances like that, I would be more inclined to want to kind of make it more personal at home. Like, the idea of bringing the music box to my home, and I'm assuming in this scenario that I'm someone who adores the music box, I don't want that. I want the music box to be a place that I go to, and that's part of the experience. Like, the concessions taken out of that experience doesn't hold a lot of value to me. And I say this as someone I realize who's asking people to buy graphic novels from the Challengers Shopify website and have them in their home. I understand that as always, what I'm advocating is a behavior that I would prefer that my customers not follow, but I understand if they do. I don't understand a lot of the things that we're asking people to do and how they find value in it, but much like selling the masks for $12, I don't want to have to make that decision for people.
Gotcha.
You know, I like that Music Box is saying, hey, if you want the popcorn and stuff, if you find value in that, we're going to make that available for you. I don't find value, and they're not forcing me to get it, so it's fine. I would do something different. I would find value in a different thing. And it's kind of the same for us at Challengers, where I like that we're providing people a lot of different options. If you want home delivery, if you want it shipped to you, if you want local pickup at the Chicago Board Game Café, and pretty soon curbside pickup at Challengers.
Well, let's use that as a segue.
Okay.
Not pretty soon, now.
Yeah, May 4th. Monday, May 4th.
When people are listening to this podcast.
Sure.
Now.
Sure.
By the time this goes out,
okay,
we will already have dropped off our last Chicago Board Game Cafe delivery.
That's true. That part's true.
And there may still be things there. In fact, Monday I think we should get a list from the Board Game Cafe as to what they still have.
Sure.
So we know what's still there. Or who's still got things there.
Tuesday probably, because they're not open Monday.
Yeah, you're right. But starting Monday, someone will be at Challengers of Bucktown between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah. Wednesdays for the next few weeks, we're still going to be doing local deliveries if you're within 5 miles of Bucktown. And then Sundays, we're just going to be closed.
So that means instead of going to the Board Game Cafe, you go to Challengers. Now let's talk about how this is going to work. Mm-hmm. There's some rules involved, but there's some rules involved with everything. So it'll be fine. It's very, very easy. If you're buying everything from Shopify, you just buy it on Shopify. There is a notes section in Shopify. Mm-hmm. And hopefully when you purchase it, you can say, hey, I want to come by Tuesday.
Sure. So dial it back a little bit.
Okay. Hold on. It's dialed back.
Okay, great. Thank you. I wish we had more of a visual cue for that because I can see you turning your hand.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a big dial, so it took a little while to move it.
So yeah, so if you're buying your stuff through Shopify, graphic novels and comics and whatever else we have on the Shopify site, when you get to checkout, there will be 2 options: pickup or delivery. If you need your books shipped, or if we're still doing local delivery, that'll be the delivery field. You'll be able to choose from there what you need to do, and then you'll pay all your shipping fees and whatever else. Local pickup is free. There is no fee for that. So you'll go to...
Delivery counts mail order?
And local delivery,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically anything where the books get to you is delivery.
I've never bought anything off our Shopify site, so this is all new to me.
You come to the books, that's going to be pickup. So, and again, there's no fee for pickup. That is included in the cost of your books. You'll place your order as normal.
I just want to say there's no fee for the United States Post Office on our end as well. You're just paying them for that service.
Yes.
It's not a fee we are charging.
But for local pickup, you'll just go through that, and you'll receive notifications when your order is ready for pickup. In general, if you're ordering it between 1 and 5, I think we're going to be pretty fast with trying to get those orders filled. We definitely prioritize that at this point over a lot of our other tasks. So when it comes in, we'll make sure the books are there. We'll list them as ready for pickup. And then at that point, if you want to let us know when you plan on coming by, you can message us. I think you'll be getting emails through Shopify, but it's from the Challengers email address, which is challengers@challengerscomics.com.
Yeah, so you can, if you respond to that, we'll get it.
Yeah. So you can come by any time between 1 and 5 after we've listed the orders filled. Please don't just come by as soon as you place the order in case anything happens. And it takes us a little bit.
In case we're out of a graphic novel and we need to refund you.
Or just if we're backed up. You know, if multiple orders come in at once, we'll get to them in the order that we receive them. But, I mean, that could take a little while. And if you're only 15 minutes away, I can't guarantee it's going to be ready in 15 minutes. We're going to try. Can't guarantee it. I think we'll be listing through Shopify that orders will be ready. Again, if placed within normal operating hours, they'll be ready within an hour.
I will say that any business that I've ordered local pickup from will always say, like, hey, you know, we'll let you know, or, you know, it'll be X number of hours from now. Nobody is automatic unless it's food. Yeah,
but you will get a notification through our Shopify site letting you know when your order is ready for pickup.
When we have fulfilled it.
Yes, when it is packed up and ready for you. And again, at that point, you can either just come by, or if you want to let us know when you're going to be coming by, that's helpful. But yeah, so that's step 1 is buying stuff through Shopify, choosing local pickup. What's step 2, Patrick?
Step 1A would be your existing subscription books that you haven't picked up yet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I feel like this is a completely different thing, but yeah.
All right, fine. Well, then we'll just go to step 2.
Yeah, step 1 is Shopify.
Step 2 is you pull up out front in the bus lane, provided it's not between 4 and 6.
We had somebody first week that we were closed before we were doing Chicago Board Game Café, and they pulled up outside to no, it wasn't an order. It was I was doing stuff with Toy du Jour. I was giving them stuff for their store, and he pulled up, and not there 2 minutes before a cop car came by and flashed the lights. Want to know why he was there, and he should move along, and it's between 4 and 6, and you can't park there. It's just like he didn't put his flashers on, but it's like he's literally just there for 2 minutes.
Flashers don't matter if it's between 4 and 6.
But I mean, the cop was fine. It was just like, okay, fine. But it was still like, there is no one on the roads. There's no one parked inside.
Yeah.
But man, if you're in that bus lane and a cop drives by, yep, they're going to say something.
All right, so pull up front, call us.
Yep.
773-278-0155. Yep. Call us and say, hey, this is Bob Smith. I am outside. We'll say, great, thanks so much. We'll get your books. We will have a table set up right next to the door, and maybe a box on that table, maybe not.
Maybe, we'll
figure. See. It was going to be a large plastic tub, but that got repurposed.
Mm-hmm.
So it might just be a diamond box, whatever.
I think it'll probably be a diamond box.
So what we'll do is you stay in your car, or if you rode up on your bike or you walked up, stay at the curb.
Yep. Please stay 6 feet away from the door.
We will open the door, put your stuff in the box, wave to you, go back inside and close the door. Once we are back inside and have closed the door, come get your stuff.
Yeah. We want to make sure that there is basically a barrier between you and us at all times to make sure that we are observing as much social distancing as entirely possible.
Yeah.
And it goes without saying, or it should go without saying, that until June 1st, customers are not allowed inside Challengers Comics.
Yes, you are not allowed inside the store. Yes. Don't expect to be allowed inside the store.
Yes. So that's all of the stuff for Shopify. Subscription stuff is largely the same as far as the mechanics of what happens when you get to the store and the table and the box and keeping barriers between us and whatever else. The difference is how you order and pay for your books. Basically, if you have subscriptions, those are not going to be accessible through Shopify. That's a completely different point of sale system. You will need to email us or call and say that you want your subscription stuff. We will email you, assuming we have an email on file. So if you call and you're a subscriber that we don't have an email with, you're going to have to provide one. If you email us, way faster, so maybe do that. We will email you an invoice for the subscription books that you have on file. If you do want anything else added to that order, definitely let us know before we send you the invoice, because I do not love sending an invoice, getting an email about more stuff, canceling the invoice, and sending more invoices. That's just work for nothing.
For example, if you email and say, hey, I want to get whatever I have in my box. Also, do you have the Black Hammer 45 trade?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a way to do it.
That's a good way to do it. We will send you an invoice. You can pay for that invoice online with a credit card. We will get a notification that the invoice has been paid, at which point we will then work with you on how you get your books.
We're not doing anything until you have paid for your books.
Yeah. If you need them, picked up locally, that's the thing you'll tell us. If you need them shipped out, tell us that at the beginning. If you need them local delivered, all of the kind of how you want to get the book stuff should be something that in the initial conversation we would like to have with you, because that will determine what goes on your invoice, because shipping costs money and local delivery costs money.
It's one of our pet peeves when someone will respond to, let's say, the weekly email that we send out.
Let's say it.
Just the regular new and notes email we send out that always has links to how we're doing things. And when someone will respond and say, hey, I want to get my books, how do I do it?
Yep.
We sent you the information.
The number of people that have ordered stuff on Shopify and chosen the local pickup (Chicago Board Game Café), which then has notifications saying, hey, it's going to be at the Chicago Board Game Café located at whatever, North Milwaukee, until from 5 to 9 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday, and will then show up at the store.
Yeah, somebody showed up yesterday before I even got there and emailed to say, hey, I showed up at the store to get the books, but no one was there.
Yeah.
Well, that's because the books aren't there.
Nope. We had somebody who, as soon as they paid the invoice for their books, before we'd even responded to say they're ready to go, was like, great, can I just come by? No, none of that's how it works. So these are things that we are saying out loud, and we will have posted on the door, and we'll have it emails and on our website. But you will still be getting stories for the next 2 months about how people did not know that, or didn't see it, or didn't understand it, and frustrated us. So just, I guess, be ready for those. It's going to be a constant fixture on the website and on the Instagram and on the Twitter and on the podcast.
Speaking of Instagram, right before we started recording, I put up a poll as to whether or not I should shave.
A poll on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
Poll on Instagram. As to whether or not I should shave, because I plan on wearing masks in the store probably for the rest of 2020.
It definitely seems like this is something that we're all going to have to deal with.
Even if we don't have to do it, I just may be doing it. And I have a variety of masks. We've talked about some of them already. I have some other ones. Some of them really mess up my facial hair.
Sure.
My beard is not short.
I'll be honest. I don't know why you don't just stick with the bandana then.
Well, that's the thing I'm sewing.
Okay. But that seems like the solution for the beard problem.
Yeah.
Is because it just layers on top and it hangs down and you can lift it up and lift it down.
I even have some t-shirts I cut the sleeves off of.
Yeah.
And the sleeve is a good
Yeah, I mean, that's
a good shield as well.
that one company that's doing they called them gaiters.
Yeah,
Gaiters.
as opposed to goiters.
Yeah, but it's basically like a neck sock, basically, that you
You
pull,
up, yeah.
over your.
Which, by the
mouth
way, I
and nose.
never.
Diamond never listed them.
Right, so I need to go back
Yep.
but do we have a wholesale account or is this that a normal?
No, it's just BBTS.
Okay, well, you have an account.
Not anymore. They got rid of that a while ago.
No, I mean, like, don't you order from stuff?
I do, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what I mean. Like,
Oh,
can I
okay.
just log in under you and order those?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I don't remember what my password is.
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's also, like, basically, I went through all my bandanas. I'm like, who do I want to sacrifice? What would look good folded in the half diamond?
Mm-hmm.
So I picked out a Paul Stanley Live to Win one. And I ordered Velcro, because I can't find Velcro locally, but I didn't go to Joann's.
So
Velcro it, so I don't have to tie it all the time.
So here's a question for you.
Yeah.
That I'm a little curious about.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I put up Should I Shave because of the masks, and so far it's been unanimously yes.
Yes, shave?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Unanimous?
Mm-hmm. Well,
2 votes?
7.
Do you know who voted?
Yeah, I can see who voted.
Do you trust them?
I can see who voted.
Yeah,
So far, they haven't been votes from people that see me in the store regularly.
Uh-huh.
So that's a factor.
Yeah,
I put up a picture, like a recent picture of me now, and a picture from pre-beard.
I see. I mean, I'm not saying that you need to have a beard. Mm-hmm. I've known you with a beard and without a beard.
A quick side note. My good friend Chris Carlson, who is the guitar player in Serpent Crown, recently during the pandemic shaved his head, completely shaved his head, and I gave him a little guff for it. Thank you. And he's like, "Whatever, Mr. 30 hairstyles since I've known you." And I mentioned it to somebody else, and they said, "Can I see all 30?" Like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. Don't know if I have like visual evidence.
Sure.
So I thought of going back and making a collage of all of my different hairstyles, which is weird to say since I'm not counting what I have now, which is a half mohawk version of what I recently had. I've had the same hairstyle for like the last 6 years, which is like unheard of for me. But anyway,
it is a very long time. It's true. So since more and more companies are going to be doing branded masks and stuff, like you've already got a Captain America one that a friend made.
Thanks, Walt Grogan and Jeannie.
You're making your own from stuff that you've got at home. We're doing Challengers ones.
Yeah.
We're talking about the there's I can't remember the name of the company, but if you go to bigbadtoystore.com, there's a company that is basically doing a lot of very cool branded these neck socks.
Mitch Gerads keeps wearing a Batman one, which is awesome because it's just like it starts here and it's just the tip of the mask.
It starts at the bridge of the nose.
Yeah, and
it goes down.
It's Batman's face. It's like
and that's some of the ones that they're online where it's like maybe a Spider-Man mask mouth.
Yeah.
So it looks like the lower half of your face is Spider-Man or a picture of Baby Yoda or whatever.
Right.
So more and more companies are going to be doing that because people need that aspect of clothing and they don't really have it, so they're going to be looking for different versions of it. Mm-hmm. Would you get AEW masks? And if so, what would you get?
Well, it all depends on the design.
Okay, would you get like one that just said AEW, like the logo?
The Chicago logo, yeah.
Okay, but you would like just a regular like gold AEW logo on a black mask?
Probably not.
Would you get like a Le Champion mask?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I mean, design's important to me.
Sure.
And Le Champion has had some
I guarantee
bad
you
shirts.
that between AEW and their wrestlers and 1 Hour Tees, they are brainstorming these things 24/7.
Well, the Le Champion bandana?
Uh-huh.
It wasn't a bandana. It was a neck bandana.
Sure.
So it was like, I don't, that could easily just be modified, I think.
Sure. But they're going to be doing masks and stuff.
Well, look, the place that...
Our t-shirt company did it, and they're, 1 Hour Tees is a t-shirt company.
Right, and 1 Hour Tees already...
Per wrestling tees, sorry.
1 Hour Tees already has... That's the company we'd be working with for the next round of Challengers masks.
Okay.
That's when I was talking about earlier. It was them.
Okay. Chicago's own Pro Wrestling Tees.
That's true.
Find them on North Damon Avenue.
Well, yeah. It's 1 Hour Tees that are doing the masks, but same company.
Same building.
That's like saying Sidekicks is selling all these kids' books.
Yeah.
Oh man, a librarian friend of ours asked me for recommendations for 4-year-olds for a thing she's doing.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, yeah, next time I'm in the store, I'll walk around. Because I gave her off the top of my head some, but...
Arkham Asylum?
Yeah.
Kids love Batman.
What if... Like, can 4-year-olds even actually read?
I don't know what 4-year-olds can do.
Right?
Yeah.
So I had to be like, everything Art Balthazar does. Yeah, and then I have to look.
Marvel's superhero adventures, maybe, if that's suitable for them.
Otherwise, I think that's
Little Golden Books, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, like, or the I usually, if I'm looking for something that's really, really young, it's those
board books.
No, I was going to say like the $5, Batman is trustworthy and Green Lantern is responsible,
sure.
and like the little lesson ones.
Sure.
Because those are super simple. It's like one sentence per page.
But I got that email right when I got home last night, and last night was a long day at the store.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't turn off.
No.
That's what I was talking about before, like the people that I have to get back to. It's like, you thought to ask me this now, but this is when I've just finished doing this all day.
Oh my God, yeah. Like, we've talked about this, I think, a number of episodes, but with the Shopify store being more established now, the amount of orders that come in between like midnight and 2 a.m. is ridiculous. Yeah. I know that everyone's talking about how like time has no meaning anymore, but boy, like suddenly once it hits midnight, people are like, I don't have any graphic novels.
Yeah.
And they just go to the website. Which, I mean, that's why you have a website, so we don't have to deal with this stuff in the middle of the night. People can feel like, they're able to control their own reading. It's good.
So, if you were only going to going back to the custom masks,
sure.
I much prefer symbols over phrases or illustrations.
Yeah. I mean, generally, yes. But I think there's something to be said for all three of those as mask options.
Well, for one, whoever was doing that, it was Graffiti who was doing all, and then some other company doing the individual Legion of Superhero shirts, like Mike Lee was getting them all.
Sure. Yeah, it was. I think a guy was just doing them. I can't remember the name of the guy. But
so it'd be cool to have all those.
Sure.
But if you could only get one Power Pack symbol, whose would it be?
Oh man.
I mean, would you want all 4?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, but if you could only get one.
Oh golly. I think the G-Force one.
Okay.
Probably that's because it's a black symbol on white. So
I made you a G-Force T-shirt for Christmas years ago.
I still have it. I mean, any of them are good.
And it was that was printed by Chicago's own 1 Hour Tees.
Yeah. I'd like to have all 4 because I think you could match them with different things. You've got yellow, a really nice kind of pinkish maroon, blue, white. Yeah.
If I could just get for me one symbol only for a mask.
Yeah.
Demon Star.
I was gonna say, I didn't even ask because I knew the answer.
100%.
Which of the 4 Power Pack symbols would you get?
I think I'd get Energizer.
Okay, it's a good one.
Yeah.
There's no wrong answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's 1 out of 4. They're all good.
I mean, technically, I would also need a 5th Tattletale one.
Sure, that's fair. Little keyhole.
Red and white.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, but I mean, I think my question was definitely going to be more in the AEW wrestling thing, because it's I think that the way that pro wrestling tees and AEW works is a lot more like indie pro wrestling than WWE, where there's a sense of who are we putting the push behind and who are we making more merch for. AEW and pro wrestling tees feels a lot more like who's got ideas.
Yeah, whatever you want to make.
Yeah,
sure.
And I think with all those people, I would be real interested in what an Orange Cassidy mask looks like. I'd be real interested in a Dr. Britt Baker one, or I think there's a lot of weird options you could do with those people.
I think you need to rephrase that.
I wouldn't necessarily even want merch from normally.
You wouldn't be interested in a Britt Baker one. You'd be interested in seeing a Dr. Britt Baker one. Would you, if I got you a Dr. Britt Baker mask, would you ever wear it? Yeah. Okay, my point.
I would find it interesting.
Colt Cabana had posted, because he has a shirt available, an AEW shirt, and so does Ref Aubrey.
Yeah.
And Cabana's post was, when the effing ref has a better shirt than you do.
It's a real good shirt. I love that Ref Aubrey has merch. It's so great to me.
She even posted about it, and it said baby's first T-shirt.
But they all have merch. Justin Roberts has merch.
Sure, why wouldn't he?
But that's the thing. Another company wouldn't necessarily do that. They wouldn't take the fan response to the ring announcer saying John Moxley in a very unusual way.
Yeah, like that.
You close. It's Gian Moxley. You got to hit.
That's fine.
He gets that E in there real hard, and then he brings it on Moxley. and they made that a shirt, and it's great.
Sure. We talked earlier about how shipping times are all messed up because of the pandemic.
Are they ever?
So,
I got a box that's sitting in Osaka, Japan. That's got 2 cases of Kamen Rider Build Sodus, and I can't build my Build Sodus.
Hey, the 2 giant Kamen Rider figures we have at the store, which 2 are they?
They are Sofix.
No, I mean, which characters are
I know,
they?
I was trying to get it right, though, but that's the material they're made of. They are, it's Deno, and it's Kamen Rider Guys.
And who would be the original Kamen Rider?
Kamen Rider Ichigo. It's Kamen Rider #1.
So if somebody wanted a original Kamen Rider figure, that is not a thing we have.
Definitely not, no.
Is that a thing you have?
I don't truck with Showa.
Take that as a no.
Nope.
So when shipping delays being what they are, I feel like I need to get, not in front of this, it's too late to get in front of it, but you'd asked me a question 2 days ago, and I gave you kind of a BS answer.
Oh, I wonder if I even noticed. Go on.
But for a very specific reason.
Okay.
You had asked me if I would ever get a Ref Aubrey shirt.
Okay.
And what did I say?
I don't remember.
I said, I'm not in a position to order a AEW shirt right now.
That's right, yes.
Well, I was afraid you were fishing for a birthday gift idea.
I wasn't.
Okay. Because I already ordered both of us Ref Aubrey shirts.
Oh, neat. Okay.
And
you ordered 2?
Yes. 2.
Yeah, 2.
See, this is where we need the visual
2.
gag for this.
Like on the shirt, she says, I said 2.
And if there wasn't a pandemic, we would have them by now.
Oh.
But we don't. So
if there wasn't a pandemic, we could just go pick them up.
I felt like I had to tell you that this was happening.
Oh, okay.
Yet I didn't have to.
No, so, yeah, first, thank you.
You're welcome.
Second, in general, for your birthday, I would normally not start thinking about it until probably within the next 2 weeks.
See, I figured May.
Yeah.
And it's May now.
Right. It is officially May 1st.
It was close enough that I felt like I had... And that's when I immediately did the whole, hey, I was thinking of these things. Like that spun out. I'd already been thinking of those, but that was... Yeah. So I just wanted to head that off.
Thanks, man.
But I also ruined the surprise. It's just a different surprise.
I totally appreciate it.
Yeah.
I still appreciate it. It's a nice surprise to find out that you did that.
Hey, that... on the bookshelf... It goes Power Pack, Private Eye. What's the next book?
Pumpkinheads.
Is that about Kenny Omega?
That is the sequel, Pumpkinheads: Dipshit.
I see. Kenny Omega, the pumpkin-headed dipshit.
Kenny Omega and that pumpkin-headed dipshit.
I don't know why it's so funny. The way that Canadian man says dipshit, but it really is.
There's such animosity in his phrasing.
He hits it so specific.
And
those are 2 men who have torn down the Tokyo Dome, and that's where that animosity comes from.
And it's not as if he's calling him a pumpkin-headed dipshit. It's Kenny Omega, that pumpkin-headed dipshit. Like, it's his full name, and then the pumpkin-headed part.
There's like a U shape to kind of how he says pumpkin-headed dipshit, where he's like, Kenny Omega, that pumpkin-headed dipshit. Like, he comes back up with it, which is like, that's what's so funny about it. That's the delivery, is he swings it back up. It takes you by surprise.
I want you to see in my notes, it says Pumpkinhead's down there, so I didn't forget to mention that.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks, for allowing us to talk about the way that
Le Champion,
Chris Jericho.
Also, why is it so hard for anybody to say Le Champion?
So I wonder if it's like a regional dialect thing. Like, we're more northern.
Lots of planets have a north.
We're closer to Canada and closer to French Canadians. So the French is a little bit easier for us to hit some of the specific phrasing, while good old Southern boys, they can't. French just don't work with them.
It's just the low part that no one can do.
No, they can't. Some of them can't do the champ part. They can't get that S in there.
Well, what we can get in is a list of the people that are so generous to us on Patreon who support this podcast regularly.
Pay money to allow us to talk about AEW Pro Wrestling.
I mean, we would do it for free in the store, and we do. just not usually together.
Yeah, I wonder if that's, before you get into all the names, I wonder if that's a thing that, like, I guess, and I'll throw this out to the listeners, which means I'm not going to get any responses. I don't know what people want from us at this point, beyond the normal comic books and graphic novels. Like, is there a story experience thing that people aren't getting that they would find value in?
You know what? I did want to talk a little bit more about our Instagram videos.
Okay.
Because we've had some questions. We've been doing really dumb Instagram videos every Wednesday and Friday. We've done 6 of them now.
Wow.
And
that doesn't sound right.
I only have I have a half idea for one more, and that's it.
Uh-huh.
We have one in the can for Wednesday. And then, yeah, I'm out of ideas. But here's the rules that we follow internally. Number 1, a minute, 59 seconds maximum. That's as long as it goes.
And is that a like a platform limitation?
Well, I mean, yeah. Okay. Yeah, unless we want to bump it to putting it on Instagram TV, which...
We don't.
No one will see it if we do that.
Nope.
Not with our account. They wouldn't. So less than a minute. Number 2, virtually no editing. Like, we'll trim a bit from the front and the back, and we could take out sections of the middle. That's all.
Yeah.
Number 3, we are not buying anything for these videos. Everything that has been on camera or used as a prop is something we already had, including the makeup that I used for the Winter Soldier mask.
And the tinfoil on your arm.
Yeah. But, like, the makeup was a thing I had for literally the Balls Mahoney Halloween costume I did, like, a decade ago.
Wow, okay.
And I still had a little capsule of, like, 4 different skin tones. I'm like, oh, that's the darkest one. I use that. It looks black enough.
Yeah. Good.
So we're not, like, anything. It's just things that we have around the store or around our respective living spaces. That's kind of it. Those are the rules. So, not that people are suggesting things, but, like, we wouldn't do anything that is too hard to do.
Yeah, nothing elaborate.
Yeah.
These are things that, I mean, if people want a behind-the-scenes look, they're usually things that we try and crank out a couple of them on a Wednesday before we go out and do deliveries.
Yeah.
So, based on when we get to the store, we have to leave at a certain point to start doing deliveries.
We try to knock out 2 at a time to take care of the week.
Yeah.
Also...
So, like, even, like, one of the ones we shoot on Wednesday has to be one that Patrick can edit on his phone right there in the store to get it posted.
Yeah.
Because there's no time. Like, it's going to go up that day when we shoot it.
Also, they're virtually all ad-libbed.
Yeah, I like the first couple. You came in with some pretty clear ideas, and it was like, this is where we're going to be, this is what we're going to talk about, and then we sort of just, the dialogue is fairly minimal because again, there's only a minute.
Yep.
And yeah, I wouldn't say it's totally ad-lib, but it definitely there's elements in there where it's like, you need to say this, and so I will say that, and then I'll phrase it differently or whatever.
Sure. You need to hit a mark or a verbal mark.
Yeah, I have to say this so that you can say this, but what I say isn't as important as how I'm saying it.
I just had an idea.
Okay. See, there you go.
So dumb. It'll never work, though.
Okay.
It'll never work.
Did you break your own rules? We'd have to buy an entire inflatable swimming pool.
No. It's with something that is in the back hallway.
Okay.
And something that is right up here.
Okay.
But anyway. Yeah, so we're doing those just to keep people entertained.
Sure.
And if anybody watches the one and goes, oh, that's so dumb, we know.
Uh-huh.
That's the point.
Thanks for watching.
And wait, no, we're not ready yet. Patrons, thank you for supporting. Hey, now that the door closes, can you see the list?
I can.
You want to read some?
Oof. I don't know if I'm going to get all the names right, so I'll let you handle it.
Oh, come on. You haven't done it in months.
Thank you to Sean Bowers. Thank you to my mom, Diane Bush, whose birthday's coming up fairly soon.
Oh, that's right. It's May already.
And I definitely need her to tell me what she wants for her birthday, which she is reluctant to do.
Does
so,
she
Mom, if
want...
you're listening, please tell me what you want for your birthday.
Do you want a Ref Aubrey shirt, Diane?
Oh, I mean, she's getting a Challengers... No, she's getting a Challengers face mask for...
Mother's Day?
Maybe for Mother's Day, maybe for her birthday. Somewhere in May. My mom's birthday is May 18th, which is usually within... 1 to 2 weeks of Mother's Day. So Mother's Day and her birthday tend to be kind of like one group of things that get set separately, but like what goes where is more fluid. Thanks to Arun Singh, thanks to Chris Burton, thanks to Ryan Hecht, thanks to Patrick's friend Bridget Neville.
Cousin.
She's not your friend?
She's my friend. That's fine.
Thanks to Marcus Annasso, thanks to Mark Hammond, thanks to Christina McChrystal, thanks to Jacob Sorelli, thanks to Robert Lane, thanks to Morgan Kaiju Perry, thanks to Patrick's brother George Brower, not his friend. Thanks to Artie White. Thanks to Michael Romanenko. Thanks to the entire Springham family. Thanks to Jose Villagomez. Thanks to Tom Nagovin. Thanks to Mitchell Davies. Thanks to Mike Lee. Thanks to Ryan Alcock. Thanks to Matt Armstrong. Thanks to Robert Burns. Thanks to It Just Says Chris. Thanks to Ben Caligulus. Thanks to Drew Triner. Thanks to Chris Revicant. Thanks to Nick Baldwin. And thanks to Andrew Elia.
See, you did it great. It's perfect.
I think I got 17 names wrong, but that's
wow,
fine.
that's good enough. Special thanks to Drew Triner. I'm going to add Ashley Edwards into that.
Thanks, Ashley.
For their ridiculous patronage during this pandemic.
I feel thoroughly patronized.
It is. We used to single Bridget out for making her own category. Mm-hmm. Andrew Elia has also made his own category.
Oh, nice.
With what he donates. But Drew and Ashley have and just way too generous.
It is.
And also Ben Hur, thank you so much for your added little bonus during this pandemic. We finished it. We've used all of it. Thank you. And something we don't normally do, a correction from last week's episode.
Uh-oh.
We were talking about the...
I don't want to make this a thing. I don't want to make us having to correct things that we've mistakenly done.
Look, if we had
its whole own podcast.
There's plenty of times in the editing phase I'm like, oh, I know the answer to that now. I should leave it alone.
I feel like if we start doing that, then like Contest of Challengers is an hour-long podcast. Contest of Challengers Corrections is an hour-and-a-half podcast.
Well, I guess Robert Burns earned himself a no prize because we were talking about the Marvel graphic novels from last year, from the past.
Sure, and you said New Mutants was number 1.
Yes, and in fact, it is number 4.
What was number 1?
This is something we should both know if we thought about it for a second. The Death of Captain Marvel.
Oh, okay, sure.
And then...
Wait, so how did he get a no prize?
He corrected me.
Well, that's not how you get a no prize.
Well, right, but he said it as in... Correcting lists is not a thing that he does. Mm-hmm. Were he to do it, he would tell us this.
For more recent fans of comic books, Marvel would, in the past, offer a no prize.
Where if you found a mistake,
error,
you would explain why it wasn't a mistake.
Right. And they would give you no prize, which would be an empty envelope that they would send you saying that your no prize was inside.
Well, initially it was nothing. They just said it in the letters page, and people would say, hey, I never got my no prize. Uh-huh. So they had to start sending an empty envelope.
Yep, which is pretty great.
And he in fact listed the first 4, and Elric was one of them.
Ooh, really?
And something else. I forget the other one.
God Loves Man Kills probably in there somewhere. Was it not? Was it way later?
I don't remember. And also, you don't need to correct me now because Bob already did. Mm-hmm. I'm just not reading it off of, because it's on my phone, the list he sent in.
Oh, okay.
So, listener, don't say, oh no, number 3 was you don't need to tell me. Mm-hmm. I have it. I just don't remember it. Mm-hmm. So thank you for that correction, Robert. Robert and I are also doing a series of 70s covers as a divorce gun on the Facebooks.
You mean you're doing it at 70 RPM?
Just exactly 70. So it doesn't play on any record player that anyone has.
He's making his own record player.
We started with with Bad Fingers No Matter What. And then we did Rainbows Since You've Been Gone. Last week was Joe Jackson's It's Different for Girls. And... the next one, I won't tell you what, but I will say it is a band that used to have the name Chicago in their full band title, but then dropped it because of pressure from another band that was called the Chicago Transit Authority, who then shortened their name to just...
Chicago?
There you go.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were going to say Transit Authority for fun.
No.
So this other band
I think my joke was going to be that the other band is Jefferson Chicago Starship.
That's good. So this other band used to have Chicago in their name, but they dropped it. And you could guess now, but it's possible that you couldn't get it right. Thanks for listening.
And keep reading comics.
This has been Contest of Challengers. Thanks for listening. Keep reading comics. Challengers is located at 1845 Northwestern Avenue in the Bucktown neighborhood of Chicago. 773-278-0155.
And in the River North neighborhood of Chicago at 750 North Franklin Street, number 103, 312-285-2252.
Keep up to date with new releases and events at challengerscomics.com. Like Challengers Comics on Facebook, follow @Challengers on Twitter, and help fund this podcast at patreon.com/challengers.